Good morning. This is the next morning. That last video on dates that I did, that was almost real time. It went about as fast as the video went. We got home late and we're trying to get things done before dark, and it was crazy. Well, I'm looking at this next little cluster of dates. In fact, if I do the camera around here, you can see right there, there's the set, and here I've got my saw, my favorite saw here for doing this. Apparently it's pretty quick, so I'm gonna get up there and try to release this last cluster and see what we can get out of it. It's got a lot of yellow on it, and I'm seeing a lot of dates falling on the ground already, and I'm sure there's already gnats on it, which is what the larva, those maggoty looking things, was the larva version of the gnats. Ugh, that was really nasty last night. It was that sickly kind of fermentation that kind of makes you want to get nauseated, and it wasn't very pretty. So here I'm going to go up and see what we got. So this is kind of close quarters. This brown stuff right here is an old one from I think last year, and then underneath there you can see green ones that are going to be the next round of dates coming up. And then right here to my right, I can already smell the dates ripening. There's some green in there, but there's also lots and lots of yellow. So we're gonna see what we can get out of this. Dates will ripen once off the tree, which is might be a useful thing. I have a nice place set out inside for them to ripen at, hopefully without bugs. Stick them through a water bath first to try to get rid of the bugs. So here we go. Whew. That was a little heavy. There's a bit on here. I'm gonna try to clean and ripen some of these, but that gnarly saw of mine, it's like 4 strokes to that stalk and it comes off, so it's very fast. It is not a lot of work. This is a 6-foot table, and here it is, the full length. So you can see it's probably about a little over 3 foot long worth of dates. So I'm gonna go back up and clean off a couple of old stalks so it's cleaner for next year, and then I'm gonna pick these. So there was a few years worth of cleanup that needed to be done up there. I got a whole bunch of these old stalks off of there, and the husk that goes around the stalks, and a couple of dead palm fronds. But this thing is cleaned up on that side. I have never climbed up that side, mainly because I had to put my ladder in the edge of the asparagus bed, and I've always been afraid of doing that. But don't worry, no asparagus were harmed in the making of this video, and a nasturtium or two may have just supported a branch here and there, so I think we're going to be okay. I also positioned the next cluster of dates that will be ripening just right up in there, right there. That will be what's next, but I got a little time this time, so maybe a week. So hopefully I won't have to worry about it, and I can get my ladder back to work for a little bit. So obviously you're out here in our garage, but this is going to be my temporary processing station. I've got some bowls of water. Got all the dates laid out here. There's a colander over there to get the dates out of the water, I guess. I don't know. All I can say is when Mrs. Bowtie is not here to supervise, you just never know what's going to happen with her nice bowls and colanders and so forth. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and work on picking these. I did notice something. I was working on picking these, and I noticed if I pulled back, well, that one came off easy. Let me find one here. Here's I'm going to suspect this one. If I pull back toward the branch, you'll notice it actually kind of peels the branch like that. Well, I've also discovered that if you pull away from the stalk, they all seem to come out real clean. So I'm going to get into the habit of standing at the end of the branches and pulling away from the stalk. I'm going to turn off the camera and get doing this two-handed. Hopefully not drop as many. I don't know where that one went to. Gotta have to find it. Anyway, in a minute. So it's easy to find stories about people that followed wildlife to figure out what was good to eat or not. And I did want to point out, like, this is bird damage right here. These are where the birds, and notice the bird damage is on the dates that are the bright yellow. So those are obviously the ones that are the best. I believe a lot of these over here are actually untouched, mainly because I believe this was the bottom side of the cluster of dates. But in fact, look right there, there's one little spot been touched by a bird. So I've been tossing out the ones that have been hit by a bird, and notice all the green ones completely untouched. So those are the ones that are going to be my prizes, I'm presuming. But I have a place all set up inside to lay these out so they can ripen over the next few days. I'm going to try again to show you what I mean by these caps. If I pull away, you hear that pop sound? This cap right here came off the date, that cap, and that's what I'm trying to make sure happens. And you pull away from the stalk, and that pop, pop. Oh, now that one made a pop, but it didn't come off. So there's a good example of a date with a cap and a date without a cap. The one on the right here has no cap on it. Oh, that was a good sound. See, that cap almost came off. One little piece left. That was a good sound, good pop. So that's the caps that I'm trying to eliminate. So here's a lot of the dates in the water bath and sink here. There's a lot of them here. I'll have to get a final way. I am rejecting, dates that have marks and stuff on. There's a lot of them in here that are actually pretty good, but I am being a little judgy on these things. Like that right there, obviously that's not gonna make it, but I've got my shelves set up here. Y'all may remember in one of the pictures from Facebook that I had just the bottom here. Well, we've got 2 more shelves set up now for ripening and drying of dates. This is not the full drying. This is mainly to ripen, actually. We do have the sundew over there, which is a carnivorous plant that will help to eat the flies that might gather here. It does a pretty good job. And so there we go. So there's all the dates sorted out. This top shelf is more green. This second shelf has more yellow in it. And this bottom shelf are pretty close to right. But I mean, my sorting isn't perfect. I mean, I can see there's some green ones there and some yellow ones back there. But basically the idea is over the next few days, I'm going to be keeping an eye on these, and as they get ripe, I'm going to be moving them down. And as this bottom looks ripe, I'm going to be filling gallon bags and sticking them in the freezer. So all I have to do now is get the rest of these dates sorted. It's just going to take a little while, and the house will smell like dates for a while. So there we go. We'll see if we can get something produced out of these. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to freeze them. I did see somewhere that you freeze them to take care of some bacteria or whatever. Well, yeah, we want to take care of a bacteria. But anyway, we've been working on the processing of these dates, and we've boiled some to get rid of skin. We've dehydrated some to get the pits out, and then dehydrated them to just get them down to the consistency of dried dates. And I did 20 hours at 98 degrees, and that was too long. So I'll still be fine-tuning that. And I did kind of a blanch of the dates where you stick them in boiling water until the peel starts coming off, and then we started playing around with putting a little cross in the bottom with a knife, just cutting the skin and waiting for it to peel. But if I figure anything out, I'll be sure and let you know what the process we find out. This is just all experimental, and have to see where we go. So all that being said, y'all have a blessed day, and see you next time.